Hey everybody, Dr. Niikee here. So I thought for today's topic to add on to our current theme of holistic health would be to talk about physical health. Quite often I see this tendency for people to be either really focused in the physical or really focused in the energetics. And quite often, never the two shall meet. And of course, when we look at the concept of holism, it means everything. So it's body, mind, and spirit. And each of those is as important as the other. And so coming back to physical health, it's not something that I share about that often these days, but I did spend decades studying, researching in naturopathic medicine. So natural medicines, looking at my PhD was actually nutritional physiology. And so I became very well versed and taught in the medical school as well about nutrition. So I thought I would share with you 5 key wisdoms that I got out of all of that training. And so the first one is fruit and vegetables. Of course, it grows from the ground, we're of the earth. Our body knows exactly how to use the nutrients. And, when we look at whole fruit and vegetables, the best thing about it is the nutrients are balanced, not like all the pills and powders and things that you can get that are made in a chemistry lab, actually, interestingly as well, to be natural-like. They're actually not natural at all, particularly when they don't take into consideration the balance that exists in nature equals the balance that exists within us. And so we really can't go past nourishing ourselves the best through food from the earth. So as natural as it comes is going to do you the best into your long term. You can find all of the vitamins and minerals that the body needs, as well as fibers, a whole lot of other plant-based chemicals that are just starting to be studied as well, looking at those health promoting benefits. And the best part is they don't have all that many calories as well. So you can really go to town eating piles and piles of, particularly vegetable foods as well. To keep you going during the day rather than, going for those quick fix, fast, convenient foods. And, sometimes whilst we can be time poor and convenient foods feel like they're more convenient in the moment, they're not more convenient later when we then have to nurse ill health because we haven't given our body everything that it needs to continue to regenerate itself over our lifetime. And, you see that a lot with, the aging population and how much disease, there actually is that could be preventable by, a few key awarenesses and, considerations when we make choices about how we're going to treat our bodies. And, so with a bit of planning, it becomes habit. Like, I'm a very busy person and, I still manage to make food, but I'm because I'm well planned, and it's like anything, you just get used to it. You just get used to it and you can just create, things from fresh. And, the funny thing is too, it actually gives you more energy to be able to do that. So, when we're not eating the right foods, our energy cycles can, start to decrease. And then it's difficult to, when you finish work, to feel like you want to cook. I do most of my cooking in the morning. I get up earlier and do that as well. But, that's because I work back later, working with people around the world. It's an easier time to have that different schedule. But of course, finding out what suits you. There is no magic for everybody. Everybody's biochemically different. And, so it's important to listen to your body, work out what's good for you. Like I often used to get asked, about smaller meals more regularly, or less meals per day, or not eating, or eating in the morning, and all of these different things. And, honestly, it's different depending on your different constitutional physiology. And, you're the best one to know what feels good for you, what continues to make you feel good over the long term, as well. My probably big rule of thumb is, if it's a short fad thing and you're not receiving all of the nutrients that you need, it's not going to benefit you long term, because of course our bodies do need all of the vitamins and minerals to continue to function properly. So number 2, so fruit and vegetables is one. Number 2, healthy fats. We hear a lot more about them these days. Fats got a big bashing through the 90s, and there's still some, hesitation for people to want to consume fats, but healthy fats regulate inflammation in our body. And we know how many problems there are with inflammation. All sorts of aches and pains, all chronic disease are all driven by inflammation. And so we have that opportunity by consuming healthy fats to be able to help our body to regulate its own inflammatory pathways. And so, healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, seafood, nuts and seeds, starting to incorporate more of those things, you're going to start to feel a whole lot better. Number 3, fiber. So loads of fiber. Fiber doesn't just keep us regular, it feeds our microbiome. I'm sure everyone's heard of, our good gut bugs, our microbiome these days. And, there's been a plethora of research already for probably decades on the benefits of having a healthy microbiome. And unless we're eating fiber, these things can't live. And so where do we get fiber? Fruit and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, beans and lentils and things like that have actually got twice as much fiber as anything else. And so, trying to add, some lentils or, some other beans, hummus, anything like that a couple of times a week is really going to help to get your fiber levels up as well. It also helps to regulate cholesterol. It helps to get the toxins out of the liver through bile. It binds the bile and excretes it out of the body. I could do a whole talk just on the benefits of fiber. So, thinking about fiber as well in your diet. And when you start to eat more fiber, just a really good rule of thumb is you need to make sure you're drinking enough water, which is number 4. We're up to 4 now. So make sure you're drinking enough water, and just clean water. Clean water will, do you the world of good. And you will start to notice a difference when you start to increase your water intake. Just another little thing to remember is it's probably not a great idea to be drinking a lot of water with food, because you're going to dilute your digestive capacity. And then if you're not able to break down the food properly, you can't absorb it, because you can only absorb single broken down food molecules through the intestines. And so, keep your big drinks of water for in between meals. So 4 is water. 5, I bet you can't guess. So quality proteins. And the reason I say quality is just bear in mind when you're choosing protein sources that you are not putting your healthy fats out of balance. And so when we look at our fat intake, we're really looking at keeping a balance. So how much saturated fats, so how much animals are we eating compared to, seafood and other healthy fats? And when that's more regulated, your inflammation is more regulated in the body as well. And so, thinking about proteins beyond just animals, and looking at things like the legumes. So they're full of fiber as well, and protein. So the beans and lentils and things like that. Also nuts and seeds. And, the beauty of nuts and seeds is that they also contain ample minerals and some different vitamins as well. And so nuts and seeds are full of protein. They've got your healthy fats as well. They're probably one of the only things you could just about live off, with a little bit of foliage on the side. So you get your folate and your vitamin C too. And so they are my 5 keys for physical health. If you check out more in this series, I will dive into as well more on mind-body connection, emotions, how that affects our energetics as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, and don't forget you can reach out to me anytime you'd like to have a chat. Take care. Bye.